Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fabulous. I'm excited because today is Tuesday. That means we have Tuesdays with Charlie coming your way. Always fun to chat with him.
Of course.
That's for those of you who don't know, that's Heidi's dad. I think we've explained that a few times, but there may be some people that don't know that. So every Tuesday we call and talk to my father-in-law. It's just a fun thing we do. Been doing it for a while and don't plan to quit anytime soon.
Greatest man on the planet.
Well, he's a good guy, all right. I don't know about the greatest man on the planet. There's probably somebody out there like saving lives that maybe would rank a little higher. But
No.
Okay.
He's the greatest.
Well, let's see. We got a quote for today from another man, maybe greatest man on the planet. I don't know. He's the richest man on the planet, I think. Warren Buffett, isn't he the richest man on the planet?
I have no clue.
I think at least he's up there. I don't look to jump over 7-foot bars. I look for 1-foot bars that I can step over.
All
So
right.
he's saying, I'm not planning to do the impossible. Let's do the possible and do it right. So there you go. Coming up, got some special things going on this Tuesday. We'll tell you all about it in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Tuesday, June the 13th. I had to do a double take there because I didn't think it seemed like the 13th, but it is. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Where this month is like almost halfway done.
Done again.
Our daughter's birthday's coming up in like a week. Whoa.
Wow.
Well, a little over.
Yeah, a little
10
over a
days,
week.
something like that? 12 days. Hey, International Albinism Awareness Day today. So I think it's the being aware of albinos, I believe is what that is. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe they need a day of awareness, whatever it is, because I'm not exactly sure what albinism is. Today is also Call Your Doctor Day. I would say any day that you don't feel good is Call Your Doctor Day.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because if everybody just calls their doctor today and says, hey,
you're not going to
what's
get
up?
in.
Yeah, chances are we're probably not all making it in. And today is World Pet Memorial Day. So we got World Pet Memorial Day going on. All of those things on this Tuesday, the 13th day of June.
John and Heidi.
I love watching TV shows and movies, but I hated seeing my monthly bill get higher and higher. All that money every month just to watch TV. Well, not anymore. We cut our cable. We were paying $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we pay for just the internet, and we save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this too at channelsurfertv.com. Watch the video there to learn how to watch movies and TV with no monthly fee. Do it today and save 50% at channelsurfertv.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio over the weekend. I think this is last weekend. Anchorage, Alaska police were asking the public to please stop calling 911 because they were all calling 911 about a moose that gave birth to 2 calves. This was on near Glen Highway overpass just outside of Anchorage, Alaska. Since the birth, police dispatchers have received more than 100 calls of people seeing the moose and the calves in the area. Now police department is asking people, please stop calling 911.
Why would you call 911?
I don't know. But they're tying up the emergency phone line for a non-emergency reason.
I mean, unless the calves were hurt or something
Exactly.
and they needed to send somebody out. Why would you call and say, hey, did you know that the moose had... I don't get
Over
it.
100 phone calls, though.
Huh.
Officials have also
And
asked
that's like
people...
everybody in Alaska, isn't it?
No. It's more than that. Officials have also asked people to refrain from slamming on their brakes to stop and take photos. So they're causing traffic problems, which is maybe why there are people calling 911. But you still wouldn't call unless there was an accident. Now, if you smashed into somebody because they were taking a photo, maybe you'd want to call 911. Would you like to see a photo of the moose and the babies?
No.
You don't even want to see them?
No.
No. Well, I have some. If anybody wants to see them, Facebook.com.
I'm sorry. I meant, yes, you should really post those on Facebook so that I can see them.
I'm glad that you asked, Heidi. Believe it or not, I already did that. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Now, I think it's kind of cool because, like, how often do you see a moose and a baby moose or a couple of baby mouses? Mouses? A couple of baby moose. You don't see them very often. So here, you see the photo over here, Heidi? I scrolled up so you can see.
Uh-huh.
That's the mama moose, the big one here.
That's nice.
See these 2 little ones? I'm assuming those are the babies. I was not there. I didn't take that photo, and I didn't call 911 about it, but I think they're adorable. A baby moose is a lot cuter than a full-grown moose. So there you go.
Baby everything are cuter than grown-up everything.
Pretty much. Except for swans for some reason, because they're the ugly ducklings. Remember that? I don't understand why, but there you go. Anyway, if you'd like to see the photo, it's on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. Des Moines, Iowa police officer Patrick Hickey was checking license plates in an alley, part of a drug investigation, when a man said, "What's up?" And Hickey replied by saying, "What's up?" The man said, "What's up?" again, and that's when finally the man said, "I'll show you what's up." Went inside a nearby house, came out with a .38 caliber handgun.
What?
Apparently he had been using some of those drugs that they were investigating there. Hickey said he showed the man his badge and pointed his gun at the man, who put down his gun. The man, Stuart Jenkins, was wanted in Michigan, where he's on parole for drug charges and assault. Imagine that. He's going to go back for, his sequel, back in jail. And he can ask folks there, "Hey, what's up?" So,
Wow.
he was just...
That escalated quickly.
Exactly. He was checking license plates, and this guy came and got in his face. Why would you do that? I mean, this guy was a police officer. He's got a badge. He's got a gun. He's got all the stuff. It's not like he was walking around in sweatpants. Don't understand why he would have even done that. This guy would not have been in trouble at all. You got away with it. I mean, I don't understand that. Anyway, kids, that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. While robbing an apartment building, Kenneth Bartleson got his brother to be the lookout, because he didn't want to get caught. Problem is, his brother's probably not the best lookout, considering he's blind. Yeah. A building resident who saw two men leaving an apartment became suspicious. They called police, waited in front of the building for the police to arrive. Eugene, who can only see shadows, mistook the residents for his brother. He was standing next to them when the officers drove up. Both men were charged with attempted robbery. So, Hey, you, brother who cannot see, be my lookout. Maybe he could have been your listen out, but he certainly couldn't have been your lookout. Didn't make a ton of sense. And they got caught and they're shocked. They're like, "How did we get caught? We had a foolproof plan." I don't know. I just think that's kind of silly. Coming up here in a moment, we have your scoop of the day. A little later in the program, we have Tuesdays with Charlie. That is all on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
John and Heidi.
If you promised yourself you'd lose weight before you went to the beach, that's still within reach. Get some help from a cool pink drink. Try it free at pinkdrinkfree.com. This pink drink tastes great and can help you lose weight. 8 out of 10 Americans are overweight. If you're tired of being one of them, we'd love to help. People around the country are experiencing amazing results with this pink drink, and you can try it before you buy it at pinkdrinkfree.com. That's pinkdrinkfree.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your scoop of the day. If you're looking for a job that will keep your body moving and your body in shape, what should you do for a job, Heidi?
Something active.
Not what we do, apparently.
No,
Look
definitely.
at me.
That is true.
Number one answer, professional dancer. Yeah. Business Insider created a list of the most physically demanding jobs in America, and you can find number one, professional dancer. I wonder if that's like on a cruise ship, dancing, if you think, or if it's like
Dancing
at
anywhere for
a gentleman's
career.
club, or what kind of dancing are they talking about here?
Probably any kind of dancing.
I suppose. Hey, a robber in the United Kingdom was caught by police after he fell off his motorcycle while fleeing police and plunged headfirst into a canal. So there's a spectacular way to get caught right there.
Wow.
I'm not exactly sure how you fall off a motorcycle. He must have been driving erratically, apparently. I suppose if you're, trying to get away, you're probably not putting along at a slow pace. David Spade is the latest Hollywood star to become a burglary victim. Did you hear about this?
No.
Suspects walked away with $80,000 worth of cash and jewelry. Most shocking thing to me is that David Spade had $80,000 worth of cash and jewelry.
Are you kidding?
Do you think he's doing that well? I guess it is David Spade after all. He Adam Sandler's keeping him going. So
Yeah.
I'm just teasing, by the way. I actually kind of like David Spade. I like his because he's kind of snarky. I kind of like that. I don't know, something about him. Researchers have identified a gene that can cause symptoms of major depression and said that it may be possible to use gene therapy to counteract the effects of this gene that causes depression. You know what else works? Tickling. Do I need to tickle
I
you?
hate to be tickled.
But you're not depressed anymore. Now you're mad. Hey, a survey of America's commuters revealed some interesting facts. Biggest one, many people in the survey admitted that they do text and drive. So we should stop doing that. Royal Caribbean has ordered a ship that is going to hold, you ready for this? 6,400 passengers.
Whoa.
Yeah, that is a huge ship. Many see some inherent dangers of a cruise ship that it is big enough to hold 6,400 passengers.
Why would it be dangerous to hold that many people?
Because if there's an accident, that's a lot of people to try to get off the ship.
It doesn't matter if there's 20 people or 6,000 people. If there's an accident on a ship, it's going to be devastating.
Absolutely. But the fewer people, the better chances of getting them off safely, getting them off the ship if there's a problem. So, I don't know. I'm not sure that I would want to be on the maiden voyage,
Well, no.
as they're heading from,
I don't want to be on the maiden voyage of
we
anything.
steer clear of
Let's
icebergs,
iron those
please.
bugs out first.
I'm just saying. TV viewers in parts of New Jersey saw a warning flash across their screen one evening during prime time. New Jersey Office of Emergency Management said, nuclear power plant warning. It was part of a training exercise. The message was intended for a small group of emergency management personnel only that were participating in the exercise, but it says, quote, as a result of coding error, end quote, the message was publicly broadcast. So it's kind of funny. There was a national emergency alert message that went out like it was last year. And it was funny because my beautiful bride and I were accidentally put on thousands of radio stations. There was an interview. There was a group that was doing an interview with us for like NPR.
Yeah.
About something that we do. And
I noticed we haven't been invited back to NPR.
No, they've not invited us back. But it was funny
interview.
because in the story it said something went wrong. And an interview with John and Heidi Small got pushed out on emergency alert systems all over the East Coast. Because I had a friend who's like, are you on the radio in this town? I'm like, no, I'm not on the radio there. I don't think. Why? He's like, I just heard you and your wife talking on the radio. I was like, oh, that is very bizarre.
We did pick up a lot of new listeners.
Yeah,
from
people
all
were like,
over
hey,
from
heard you
that.
guys. You seem like fun. That's awesome. And finally, all moms out there know that it can be challenging to have boys, especially in the bathroom, to hit the right spot. Well, there's a mom known as the Truth Bomb Mom. Anyway, she's got a photo of a toilet covered in directions that spell out where they're supposed to tinkle. It's just adorable. And if you
I saw that.
Yeah,
That
I've got
is
an
cute.
image. It's at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Tuesdays with Charlie is on the way.
John and Heidi.
How long's it been since you've been on vacation?
Way too long.
Well, we're going to Punta Cana this November for a cool event called 80s in the Sand.
I'm so looking forward to just being able to relax during the day. All day, every day for 7 full days. And, as a bonus, get to hear some awesome music at night.
You can also meet some 80s icons like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and many more.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
That website again is 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
And it's time right now for my favorite program, something we do every Tuesday just because we can. We pick up the phone or we call my father-in-law for a little program we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
How you doing, Charlie?
Is it that time already?
It is. Yes.
Holy mackerel, that's the only time I get to talk on the phone.
Yeah, well, we'll keep calling. So what kind of cool stuff we can learn about today?
Well, let's see. You guys don't wear glasses, do you?
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, we both do.
Yeah. We don't wear them much, but we both wear them.
I wear contacts all the time.
Did you know that more than 4 million pairs of eyeglasses are trashed annually?
No kidding. Like thrown in the garbage accidentally?
Yep.
Wow.
Broken, stepped on.
Don't
Yeah,
do
I
that.
could see that. They're awfully fragile.
Dainty and
Lot of-
delicate.
That's a lot of money when you start paying $800 for a pair of glasses.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy.
Wow.
Hey, let's see here. Had the estimated 32.7 billion aluminum cans tossed out in 2011 been redeemed at a recycling center, they could have netted $820 million.
Holy cow. What kind of cans?
Them tin cans, butthead.
Leave him alone. I know what you meant.
Not fun to make fun of
No.
prepared people.
Exactly. Leave him alone.
I'd say something else, but hey, then, no matter how much you prepare, the toilet seat is always going to be cold when you sit down.
Yeah, no kidding. Been there, done that. Seems like it's always cold.
Well, that's because you use the outside one.
It's never cold for me. My husband sits on it so often that by the time I get in there, it's already warmed up.
Hey, I do what I can to keep this marriage going.
Don't warm that up for me. Okay.
Exactly.
Hey, the early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese.
Yes, it does.
Hey, there's some cheese over there. Go get it.
I'll be right behind you.
Let's see here. Who was the first to see a cow and think, I wonder what will happen if I squeeze these dangly things and drink whatever comes out?
I sure wouldn't have been the first one to drink whatever came out. That's
Me neither.
just, the whole process is bizarre.
Run over there and yank on them things, see what happens. And then I got one last thing here for you, and this is just if you care, because nobody really does anywhere, but nearly 20,000 tons of used tennis balls end up in landfills every year.
Tennis balls?
Tennis balls.
Really?
What?
That's a lot of tennis. That's a lot of balls.
That is. I just don't understand why that many per year would get thrown away.
Well, I suppose it's like baseballs. They only use them so often in tennis tournaments, and then they're no good.
I suppose. Well, I didn't realize that. I wonder if there's a market for used tennis balls.
Well, I didn't know tennis balls went bad.
I didn't know either. But I see some people cut little slits in them and put them on like the bottom of things, like on walkers and stuff. So
They do that, too.
there you go. See?
See, when the little fuzzy things come off your balls, then it's time to get rid of them.
That's how you know when it's time to get rid of your tennis balls. Nice. You ready for a question, Charlie?
I got the answer.
Okay. All right. Americans spend how much each year, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, on walking shoes? How much money do you suppose Americans as a whole, not per person, but how much as a whole do we spend on walking shoes every year?
$3 billion.
You know what? You're actually pretty darn close. It's $4.5 billion.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. See, you were close, though. $4.5 billion annually on walking shoes.
What's the difference between walking shoes and running shoes?
Well, in walking shoes, you walk. In running shoes, you run.
Thank you, Einstein. But
I'm just trying to be helpful.
are
baby.
they all just tennis shoes?
I don't know. It doesn't really say. It says walking shoes.
So what are tennis shoes?
Well, I think those are the ones you wear playing tennis, as long as your balls still have the little fuzzy stuff, you don't have to throw them away. Right, Charlie? Pretty sure. I don't know why you ask me these things. You know I don't know the answers.
You know, someday we're all going to jail. You know that, don't you?
At least we'll be together.
Well, Charlie, it's always a pleasure to chat with you, sir.
Well, we'll do her again next week.
Yes, sounds like a plan. We'll call you. How's that sound?
I'll have my people call you.
All right, that works too.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Bye-bye. My father-in-law right there. We pick up the phone and call him each week at this time just because we can for a little program we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
John and Heidi.
Would you like custom t-shirts for an event or sports team? We understand that usually the budget's not unlimited. We have full-color custom printed t-shirts for just $7 each. That's one of the best prices you'll find anywhere. No minimum orders, so you can print just one or print 1,000. The price is just $7 per shirt with a minimal setup fee per design. Make the memories of your next event last forever or help your team look amazing with a little help from CustomShirtInc.com. That's CustomShirtInc.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The smallest telescopes, like the littlest ones right now that you can get for your kids at a store, have more power than the one that Galileo used to discover parts of the solar system. So like a little plastic telescope is better and more powerful than what he used. That is just amazing to me. I think, it's basically like looking through the tube from a paper towel holder. That's kind of what he had, basically. So, not much. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A player must be at least 16 years old to be eligible to sign with a Major League Baseball team. Can you imagine being in the major leagues at 16? That'd be crazy.
Huh.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In the baseball world, they call him a southpaw, a left-hander.
Yeah.
You know who a left-hander was?
Who?
Charlie Chaplin was left-handed.
Okay.
Did you know that? Because you did a report on Charlie
I did
Chaplin,
a report
right?
on Charlie. I didn't know he was left-handed.
Yeah.
I wonder if there have been any 16-year-olds in
I
the...
don't know. I'll have to look. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
An aircraft carrier gets about 6 inches per gallon of fuel. Not very fuel efficient. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Martial arts expert Bruce Lee loved to read. He had his own personal library with hundreds of books. That's really cool. Kids, readers are leaders. There you go. A couple of fun facts for you right here on a Tuesday.
John and Heidi.
If you promised yourself you'd lose weight before you went to the beach, that's still within reach. Get some help from a cool pink drink. Try it free at pinkdrinkfree.com. This pink drink tastes great and can help you lose weight. 8 out of 10 Americans are overweight. If you're tired of being one of them, we'd love to help. People around the country are experiencing amazing results with this pink drink, and you can try it before you buy it at pinkdrinkfree.com. That's pinkdrinkfree.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. I've got a question for you, Heidi. Is it bad to take a nap?
No.
Says if your boss maybe has to shake you and wake you up, then maybe yes. But an occasional 20-minute nap to boost your productivity, well, that can actually put a little pep in your step, and it's perfectly fine. What's not fine, though, is being unable to get through the day without a siesta. It says if you depend on your nap like a skydiver depends on a parachute, then something is wrong. So it's okay to take a nap, but like if you have to take a nap, then there's an issue. And this, according to W. Christopher Winter, MD, author of The Sleep Solution, says if you are so tired that naps, quote, kidnap you, well, I've never really thought about them kidnapping me, but I suppose that's a good way to describe it, then your nighttime sleep is either of poor quality or insufficient. Napping is like taking a multivitamin. It should be a supplement, not a replacement. Dr. Winter says, as for timing, try to do your snoozing before lunchtime. That way, you augment your previous night's sleep total instead of disrupting your upcoming night sleep.
Oh, yeah.
I never really thought of that, but they're saying if you take an early
nap.
day nap, you're kind of catching up on sleep rather than messing with tonight because now you're like, well, now I'm not tired. So
Are we almost done here? I'd kind of like to go take a nap.
The other day, our son had some friends that stayed over this weekend, a couple of really fun kids. I got to say, our son's friends are awesome, aren't they?
They really are. They're great kids.
And I like the fact that they can say to us what they feel comfortable enough to say to us the things that they say because they know that we're
cool.
Yeah, we're cool. It was just really funny because I was thinking, there are some parents that would probably be offended by everything these kids just said, but they were just having fun. And anyway, the thing, it was funny because there's 3 20-year-old boys. They were all sleeping in a king-size bed.
Yeah.
Awkward. I want to go snap a photo of this. I think that'd be funny. But I can't imagine they got a whole lot of sleep. That would have been really tough. But they harassed me because they came home and it was like 11 o'clock. And I had fallen asleep watching a TV or watching movies or whatever. And I got up to go to bed and they said, oh, I thought maybe you were going to sleep on the sofa. I was like, oh, that was my pre-bedtime nap. So I got a little siesta in. Apparently too late, though, according to this story. Coming up here in a bit, we're going to talk about people who are trying to lose weight. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
I love watching TV shows and movies, but I hated seeing my monthly bill get higher and higher. All that money every month just to watch TV. Well, not anymore. We cut our cable. We were paying $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we pay for just the internet, and we save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this too at channelsurfertv.com. Watch the video there to learn how to watch movies and TV with no monthly fee. Do it today and save 50% at channelsurfertv.com.
John and Heidi.
If you're trying to lose weight, well, first of all, welcome to the club, because there's a lot of folks that are trying to lose weight. Mm-hmm. But if you're trying to lose weight, do not diet by skipping breakfast. There is a study that shows that overweight men who ate eggs and lean Canadian bacon in the morning had a greater sense of fullness throughout the day compared to those who just ate the extra protein at lunch or dinner. So saying if you want to feel fuller, have breakfast.
I love Canadian bacon.
I do too. We never ever get.
We don't
that.
buy it really. No.
I was just thinking of that the other day when we were at the store because remember I was looking.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, oh.
And I was thinking maybe I should grab that. And then you didn't point at that one, so I didn't point at that one, so neither one of us did. So now both of us were thinking Canadian bacon, and neither of us did it.
But you know what? I think you have to be a little wealthier than we are to be able to buy Canadian bacon for breakfast.
I guess
morning.
I didn't look.
It's not as cheap as ham. Let's just put it that way.
So that 59-cent pack of ham you got me? Here you go. Here's your poor man's Canadian bacon, and you're going to be happy with it. I'll have to have that for breakfast tomorrow. Coming up, we're going to talk about this dude that's got an audio tape with alien sounds on it. Maybe. Kind of. Probably not.
John and Heidi.
First of all, Heidi, do you believe in UFOs?
I do believe there's other life out there. I don't know that I necessarily believe they're walking around here.
Well, Sean Morton, founder of the Prophecy Research Institute in California, has recently produced an audio tape that has nothing but high-pitched sounds on it. According to Morton, he did so to keep aliens away. Since aliens function on a relatively simple 3-level energy system, this overloads their nervous system. So far, so good. He has not seen any aliens
Wow.
since he came up with this theory.
How many did he see before he came up with that theory?
But he's got this high-pitched audio thing that you can play. Every once in a while, we'll do that, like to go to sleep. We'll play like some soothing sounds. It's funny. The other night we had one. I picked the wrong soothing sounds, and what was it that we were thinking it sounded like? It sounded like it was maybe a scene in a movie where someone is about to get murdered. Maybe
Yeah,
I don't know.
it was
just
not
sinister.
soothing.
Sinister, not soothing. But this dude, can you imagine? If you go to somebody's house and you got these high-pitched, squealing, weird sounds, of course the aliens aren't coming. Nobody's coming over. So I don't think that it's necessarily just working on aliens. Maybe it's working on everybody. I don't know. Coming up, we're going to talk about the newest thing that's happening for proms. This is weird. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
How long's it been since you've been on vacation?
Way too long.
Well, we're going to Punta Cana this November for a cool event called 80s in the Sand.
I'm so looking forward to just being able to relax during the day. All day, every day for 7 full days. And, as a bonus, get to hear some awesome music at night.
You can also meet some 80s icons like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and many more.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
That website again is 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Prom season is done, probably a month ago or so, but this has been flying around on the internet, and it's catching some steam now. It's trending, I think. Is that what they call it? Trending online? Some high school students were getting their prom dates, instead of a corsage, they were getting them croissants, a French pastry.
Okay.
I don't know if it's because the first kid that did it thought that that's what he was supposed to be ordering. I thought I was supposed to get you a croissant. I'm not sure how this started. But for whatever reason, instead of a corsage, they've been wearing on their wrist, a croissant.
On their wrist.
Yeah. The photo evidence is online, and it's hilarious. It dates back to social media from 2015.
Okay.
First time that it happened is 2015. Julia Gorman got a croissant corsage for her senior prom. She says, I really don't like corsages, and I was talking to a friend about how I didn't want one, she told Today Style. He suggested, instead, I opt for a croissant. And that's what happened. So this year, there have been several people who've done that. I've got a link to this on our Facebook page if you want to see what a croissant looks like on someone's wrist. I mean, it looks like a croissant, strapped on someone's wrist. And they decorated it. It's got I don't know if you call it glitter, but it's got little flowers and stuff on it. It does not look comfortable.
Huh.
It's very big, and she's got this dainty little hand with this gigantic, huge croissant strapped to it.
Yeah, that's weird.
I just think that's a weird... a couple years ago, remember the duct tape thing? There was a while where guys and girls were going, and he was wearing a duct tape tuxedo, and she was wearing a duct tape dress. Remember those?
Yeah.
I remember reading one where they spent more on the duct tape tuxedo and the duct tape dress than they would have if they would have just
bought nice
an
ones.
actual real...
I saw some girls in condom dresses.
What?
Yeah.
I just don't see... I understand that they want... Hey, we want to be different. We want to stand out. But
can you imagine how much a condom dress would have cost?
that's probably more than the duct tape dress even.
It would have been. It would have been ridiculous.
Well, I don't know. Maybe because I think there's some schools that just hand those things out for free. So that's probably what they did. I have no
maybe.
idea. All I know is I'm glad I'm not a kid anymore. And if you want to see the photos of this croissant instead of corsage, Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I got some good news for you, Heidi. This is a subject that we were actually just talking about the other day. It says here, emptying trash cans and dumpsters in Bogota, Colombia, Jose Alberto Guerras, one day he found a copy of a classic novel, Ana Cariana. I've
Okay.
never heard of that.
Nuh-uh.
Anyway, he kept it. Well, that was 20 years ago. And since then, this garbage collector has continued to collect discarded books, amassing thousands that he used to create a free library.
Oh,
So
that's
discarded
nice.
books, instead of throwing them in the trash, he said, oh, I'll keep that, and oh, I'll keep that one. Anyway, guess how many books he has now?
How many?
Again, he started this 20 years ago. 25,000 books.
Oh.
And most of those he pulled out of the garbage, but he said there are also some additional donations that came from elsewhere. But I think that's a really cool thing. Now, the reason we brought it, or reason we were talking about it before reading the story, we were going into a business the other day, and we saw they had a little box there that said unwanted books, and you could throw
Yeah.
them in there. And it didn't say if you could take them or if you were just supposed to drop them off.
I think it's just to drop where you drop them
But
off.
why not take some if you want? I don't know if that's how that works, if they're for a specific purpose. But we get authors that'll send us books all the time. And there was a time where I had this giant stack of books. Remember that?
We do it again.
Well, it's not nearly as bad as it was. But I had a ton of them because I was like, well, what am I going to do with all of these?
And they're all brand new books.
Yeah, brand new books, never been read. Like, I'll flip through them, so when I'm talking to the author, I have, some intelligent question to ask. I know what you're thinking if you've heard these interviews. When have you ever flipped through any of these? But anyway, so we started giving those away, just saying, hey, we're going to... And for a while, we had them sitting out in the station and said, if you want a book, just take it. And it's funny because most people wouldn't take them. They're like, well, I don't want to take the books.
Yeah.
It looks like it's interesting, but I don't want to take it. I'm like, just take it.
Yeah.
Well, I just wouldn't feel right. I'm like, take the dang book, please. Anyway, if you'd like to read more about this, Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
Time now for the bonus break on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Today is National Bourbon Day. We talked about that earlier in the program, and we've got a guest right now that's going to tell us a little more about that. We've got Jackson Kolby with Southern Recipe Small Batch. How you doing, sir?
Very good. How you doing, John?
Very good. Now, when we say Southern Recipe Small Batch, there may be some people thinking small batches of bourbon, two different things, right?
That's right. We're talking about pork rinds. We're talking about some pairings with bourbon, but we're going to talk about some bourbon recipes for you guys, too, some cocktails that would go good with any celebration you might be having, especially today with National Bourbon.
Do you know, how long have they been celebrating National Bourbon Day? Is this something that's been going on a long time?
I think it's been going on since they've discovered that bourbon was a thing that was in existence.
There you go. And I read a story about how bourbon was invented, and I thought it was kind of interesting because they said the way it first started, there was a guy that he recycled some barrels, wooden barrels, where they were making their whiskey, and he recycled these by cleaning out the inside. He burned the inside of the barrel to clean out the old alcohol, and then when they repackaged it with the new alcohol, it had a completely different flavor and a different color because of the charred wood on the inside. And he didn't want to sell it. He didn't want to sell it locally, so they sold it out of the area. But it was from Bourbon County. And then they had all these people saying, hey, I want some more of that bourbon, because it was stamped bourbon on the barrel. They said, hey, we need some more of that bourbon. That was really good. So I was like, that's really kind of cool.
Exactly it. They reference it as a happy accident.
What a happy
Exactly
accident.
what they say.
That's really cool.
Yeah, what a happy accident. And when he burned that inside of the barrel, it extracted the whiskey's tannic acid.
Yeah.
That's what makes bourbon is the tannic acid, and that it just drew it right out from the charred oak barrels. Cool that happened, and they came up with that. I mean, it's just amazing, that.
Yeah.
And now it's considered, the native spirit here in America.
Well, and the thing that's neat about it, there are people who like the flavor of that don't like whiskey. I'm not a whiskey guy, but I love bourbon. So it's really interesting how that works out.
Yeah, because for whiskey to be considered a bourbon, it has to have a mixture of ingredients that must contain 51% corn.
Okay.
And the rest has to be malted barley and rye or wheat, and it has to be aged for 2 years in the barrel. And of course, 95% of the world's bourbon, where's it made? Kentucky.
Yeah,
right there, Bourbon County, Kentucky, just like you mentioned.
And that's where it was born, and that's where it's still the most popular place to make it.
That's true.
Now, speaking of down south, Southern Recipe Small Batch, you guys have something that it pairs really well with bourbon. So if you're going to be celebrating with bourbon today, you might want to celebrate with some pork rinds as well.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if you're doing like a high rye bourbon, an excellent choice in any glass is a high rye bourbon. That contains a higher amount of rye. It's spicier, drier than your traditional bourbon. You probably want something strong and spicy with that to pair with it. And good example of something that would pair well with that is a Korean kimchi barbecue pork rind that we have. It'll just make you a happy camper with the high rye stuff. And a high rye bourbon, something like a Bulliet, is a good example of a high rye that would just go well with Korean kimchi barbecue.
And something that's cool, just like that, charred oak brought something out of that bourbon or the whiskey and made it bourbon, and it gave it a whole new flavor and a whole new taste. If you're having different foods that you're pairing with the bourbon, it's going to bring out different flavors and different tastes as well. So that's where the one that you were just talking about that may be a little more spicy, by pairing that with the right bourbon, it's going to be a great combination.
Right, and kind of like your classic bourbons that are smoother and softer, those are more of a high wheat bourbon. They have wheat there, and they're traditional, they're mild. It's kind of an earthiness that you get in those. That's kind of like a Maker's Mark would be a good example of just kind of a wheat bourbon. If you want to go kind of traditional with those kind of things, so that's what we suggest our sea salt and cracked black pepper rinds to go along with that smoothness that you're going to get with just a high wheat bourbon.
Nice. Very nice. Now, let's talk about some of the unique flavors that you guys have at Southern Recipe Small Batch. I've had a chance to try several of these, but you got quite a few varieties. Pork rinds are not just pork rinds because, you've got some that are the original, but you get a lot of new recipes and a lot of fun recipes that people can try. Let's talk about some of those.
Yeah, the thing that we do different is our Southern Recipe Small Batch pork rinds are fried in sunflower oil, so they're lighter, they're puffier, they have more of a crunch to them. But it's not a heavy crunch like a normal pork rind. We have sea salt and cracked black pepper, like I talked about, the Korean kimchi barbecue, and two other ones that we have that are just incredible: spicy dill, which actually would go good with the wheat bourbon as well, and pineapple ancho chili, which is a little bit spicier as well, but it's just a brilliant rind, and it has a great flavor and a great crunch.
Now, where could folks find the Southern Recipe Small Batch? Is it all over the country? Can they find it, or just in certain places?
It's in various stores across America. We are in Kroger's, Safeway, Brookshire Brothers. You can find us at southernrecipesmallbatch.com. We have a finder there. Just go ahead and log in and put your location in there, and you're going to find a place where you can purchase Southern Recipe Small Batch near you.
Again, if you'd like to see a list of places that you can buy them, that's right on their website. What is the website once again, Jackson?
southernrecipesmallbatch.com.
All right. Thank you so much for taking time to chat with us. Are you enjoying bourbon right now? You're not drinking this early, are you?
Oh, of course. We're trying some. We got some old-fashioned bourbon cocktails going on. We have a mint julep. We're trying a Derby bourbon. For. And a whiskey sour, of course. You got to make some whiskey sours on National Bourbon Day here.
Well, it is National Bourbon Day, and if you're going to be celebrating, celebrate responsibly, and if you can, celebrate with some Southern Recipe Small Batch pork rinds as well, and try some of those combinations we just learned about from Jackson Kolby. Jackson, have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you again in the future.
Thanks, John. Really appreciate it.
Again, today is National Bourbon Day, and our guest today has been Jackson Kolby with Southern Recipe Small Batch. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.